Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, April 6th. Just got off work. On some of my breaks today, I did pull things out from the magic cards there, and since I got the boxes, I've just slowly been beginning to sort and organize the cards here, starting this time from the beginning. Last time I was working on it, I'd started from the most recent sets and was slowly working my way backwards. And I've done that the last couple of times that I've gotten into that habit of being like, I'm gonna sort through magic cards because it's fun. I like sorting and organizing things. So every so often, that's just kind of what I do. However, the most recent sets keep changing, so things keep getting messed up. And then I'm like, how far back did I get? And I can't remember. And so I spent a break trying to figure out how far back I got, and I could not remember. So instead of continuing to try and figure out when I had my lunch, I was like, let's just start from the beginning. That way, it doesn't matter. Also, that means that once these are done, unless I get, old cards, which occasionally I do, but until I get old cards, then box one will be basically done. So I can just kind of keep moving forward from that. Also, I'm numbering the boxes, and they start from that point, so that way I don't have to move numbers. Although I was smart enough, I put the numbers on the lids, so I could just swap the lids for the boxes if needed. But it's Tuesday, that makes it movie day, and I'm thinking, well, what movie do I want to watch? I was looking through some things, and there were some few options maybe that came to mind, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm looking at comedies. I'm wanting to laugh, I guess, okay? But I made a decision. I'm gonna go with Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, because it is a comedy, should make me laugh, and it's part of a series that I've already began, and I want to kind of work through those to some extent, so that, when I get a series, I get the whole series completed and watched, because movies within a series definitely affect my opinions of other movies in the series. There are some series where maybe it's a trilogy and the middle film isn't the greatest. It struggles with the beginning, but really the movie before it did a good enough job at setting it up that that's fine, and maybe it doesn't have a real successful ending, but the ending does really set up for a good movie ahead of it, and so it still gets counted good, because while it may not stand alone on its own, it can still be enjoyable film as part of the series for what it is, and I still appreciate that because I like series of movies. That's not the case for this one. This one definitely stands alone on its own. It was in fact the first of the Austin Powers movies that I ever watched, even though it's the middle one. And it's what made me want to carry on and watch more. So, yeah. Let's check out The Spy Who Shagged Me. And I will give Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, 7.6 out of 10. I quite enjoy it. Actually, probably goes over the basis of the story here on the back. First, he fought for the crown. Now, he's fighting for the family jewels. Mike Myers returns as the world's grooviest super spy in his latest comedy adventure. Intent on world domination, diabolical genius Dr. Evil travels back to 1969 and steals Austin Powers' mojo. Now, Austin must return to the swingin' 60s, recover his mojo, and stop his terminally square arch-nemesis from liquidating the world. Together with fab CIA super chick Felicity Shagwell, Austin faces off against an army of outrageous villains, including a heinous henchman and of tremendous girth and Mini-Me, Dr. Evil's deranged 1/8 sized clone. So yeah, I mean, for one, introduced Mini-Me, which feels so much of part of what Austin Powers is as the show, but wasn't in the first one. I definitely like Heather Graham's Felicity Shagwell as my favorite of the Austin Powers chicks. And, plus with Lenny Kravitz's American Woman, with a soundtrack for her character, perfect. And good song, too. But yeah, and also this is another thing that feels like Austin Powers is the time travel element, which I guess technically there was the cryogenic freezing, so it's sort of traveling forward in time, but now it's traveling back in time, which feels more time travel-y. Because, I mean, we're always traveling forward in time, it's just the rate of our experience of doing it's generally at a rate of 1 second per second. But yeah, sort of the inciting mission is he's got to recover his mojo. I think it's some sort of monkey. But yeah, so you got the time travel, you got the space elements, which I think does technically tie into some James Bond themes. Not any of my favorite James Bond themes, but we'll get to those movies eventually. Part of me even thinks, like, I wanted a comedy, but really I also wanted to watch James Bond, so that's why I watched this. When it's fun, it's funny. I did laugh, and I suppose that was the goal. Definitely lighthearted, mischievous, a bit crude. But, yeah, it's silly. And I think that's all it's really aiming to be. Let me know your... Don't worry about it. Let me know your thoughts on the movie if you've seen it yourself, of course. Not a super deep movie, not a whole lot to speak on. And also, I got a headache. It's not super late, but I'm gonna call it an evening here, because yeah, just kind of having a headache. So I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues.